The big question: what does being one really mean? Are we all one? It's a question that's often asked, sometimes with hope, sometimes with confusion. But before we rush to answer it, let's pause for a moment. When you feel joy, does someone else automatically smile? When you stub your toe, does someone across the world wince in pain? These simple, everyday moments reveal something fundamental. We are not identical beings. You live in your body, experience your thoughts, feel your emotions. And yet, there's also something that makes us hesitate before saying we're completely separate. We sense a connection, not the erasing kind, but a subtle thread that links us. Many spiritual traditions speak of oneness. This often means the idea that everything is ultimately the same essence, like countless drops dissolving into one vast ocean of being. For example, in some forms of Hinduism, the understanding is that the individual soul, Atman, is finally revealed to be the same as the one universal reality, Brahman. You realize you are the ocean, not just a drop. In mystical traditions within religions like Islam or Christianity, there are often teachings about the soul seeking complete union with the divine, where the individual self feels annihilated or absorbed into the absolute. Many modern spiritual ideas also use this image, talking about everyone being part of one big consciousness or energy pool. It's a powerful idea, and it speaks to the feeling of unity. But the Buddha offered a view that is both subtler and, for many, more practical for daily life. He didn't claim that we are all the same thing, or that individual identity is an illusion to be erased. Instead, he taught two interwoven truths about reality. First, that all things arise in dependence on other things. This is the truth of interdependence or dependent origination. Second, that nothing, not even the person we call myself, has a permanent, unchanging core. This is the teaching of no self. Not that you don't exist, but that who you are is fluid, always changing, like a river that is always moving, but still recognized as a river. So from the Buddhist perspective, we are not one in the sense of being identical or merged into a single substance. We are distinct beings, each shaped by countless causes and conditions, each lacking a fixed self, and yet all deeply connected in a vast, living web. This view honors both individuality and interconnectedness, without collapsing them into each other. If you'd like to get a felt sense of this, take a moment now. Gently notice your breath, the air flowing in and out of your body. Then ask yourself, where does my air end, and where does the world's air begin? The boundary isn't so clear. And in that hazy space, we begin to sense how fluid the line between self and world truly is. The web of connection, how everything links together. The Buddha offered a profound insight into how the world truly operates, a teaching known as dependent origination. Later, the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh gave us a modern and poetic way to understand it. Interbeing. This word captures something essential, that nothing exists in isolation. Everything depends on everything else. As the Buddha expressed it so simply, when this is, that is. When this arises, that arises. When this ceases, that ceases. To see this more clearly, just look at a simple cup of morning coffee. At first glance, it's just a drink. But when you pause and look deeper, you begin to see it's not just coffee. It's soil, sunshine, clouds, and rain, It's the hands of farmers who tended the beans, the water drawn from deep within the earth, the ceramic cup shaped by fire and crafted by someone's labor. That one cup holds the whole universe. Without even one of these conditions, your coffee would not exist. This is the heart of interbeing. Nothing arises by itself. Everything leans on everything else. And you too are no exception. You are shaped by breath, by food, by relationships, by memory, by time. Your body comes from your ancestors, your language from those who spoke before you. Your thoughts shaped by the world you've lived in. You are made of non-you elements. Interestingly, modern science echoes this truth. In ecology, we see how removing a single species, like wolves from Yellowstone, can reshape an entire landscape, even changing the course of rivers. In physics, quantum entanglement suggests that particles, though far apart, can influence each other instantly. And in cosmology, we discover that the atoms in your body were born in ancient stars. As Einstein once reflected, a human being is part of the whole, called by us the universe. Still, it's important to make a gentle distinction. Some traditions say we are all one mind, one vast consciousness experiencing itself. The Buddhist view is slightly different, equally profound, but more grounded in everyday experience. It says, we are distinct beings, with our own paths, our own joys and struggles. But we exist within an interwoven web of mutual reliance. We are not one thing, but we are not separate either. And this makes compassion all the more powerful. You're not helping another person because they are you. You're helping them because they're not you, and yet their suffering matters deeply. Their well-being ripples out into the same web that holds you. Like a pebble dropped in still water, your actions, a kind word, a patient response, a small act of care, send waves through the world. Helping someone else isn't selfish, even if it brings you joy. It's a recognition of this truth, that in lifting another, you lift the whole web. You strengthen the threads that support us all. Interbeing reminds us that no act is too small, no gesture too quiet. Every moment matters, because every moment touches everything. Living without a fixed self, the freedom of no self. One of the most transformative insights in Buddhism, and also one of the most often misunderstood, is the teaching of no self, anatta. It's a central thread in understanding not just who we are, but how we relate to the world and to one another. And no, it doesn't mean you don't exist. You are here, reading this, breathing, feeling, aware. You are undeniably real. But what Buddhism invites us to question is how we exist. We usually think of ourselves as having a kind of inner core, a permanent me at the center of all our experiences. But when we look closely, with calm and honesty, that solid core begins to dissolve. What we call self turns out to be a constantly flowing stream. Thoughts, memories, sensations, emotions, body changes, all rising and falling, never quite the same from one moment to the next. Imagine a river. You can see it, name it, stand beside it, but the water is never still. It's always moving, always being renewed. You never step into the same river twice. In the same way, the you of today isn't quite the same as the you from a year ago, or even yesterday. Your body is renewing itself cell by cell. Your mind shifts with each experience. The self is not a thing, it's a process. So why did the Buddha teach this? Because he saw how much of our suffering comes from clinging. Clinging to an identity, a story, a fixed version of who we think we are. We fear loss, rejection, change. Not just because those things are painful, but because they threaten this imagined solid me we work so hard to protect. But when we look deeply, where is this unchanging I? Is it the body? That changes. Is it our thoughts? They pass like clouds. Is it our memories, our name, our past? All of it is in motion. Recognizing this doesn't erase us. It frees us. It's like setting down a heavy bag you've been carrying for so long, thinking it was essential. When you no longer have to defend a fixed identity, you become more open, more fluid, more alive in the moment. You don't have to pretend to be someone. You can just be. And this shift changes how we relate to others too. The boundaries we feel between me and them start to soften. You don't need to collapse those boundaries. It's not that others are you. But when you're less tightly held by a fixed sense of self, empathy flows more naturally. You can meet others not as roles or labels, but as fellow beings in motion, just like you. You might try this as a practice. When someone irritates you, instead of locking into "they are making me upset," just pause. Notice the feeling. Gently shift to "there's irritation present." Suddenly, there's space. The emotion is real, but it's not the whole of you. It's something arising and passing, not something you have to grip. Or try this during the day. Notice how often you say, "I," "me," or "mine." You don't have to stop using these words. They're part of everyday language. But with each one, ask quietly, what is this I pointing to right now? You're not trying to erase yourself. You're just loosening the grip of a false solidity. And in that loosening, there is peace. Understanding no self isn't about disappearing. It's about seeing more clearly, living more lightly, and touching the freedom that comes when we no longer hold ourselves so tightly. Your actions matter more than you think. If everything is deeply connected, and if no self is fixed or separate, then a natural question arises. Do my actions still matter? The answer, in the Buddhist view, is a clear and powerful yes. Precisely because everything is interconnected, your actions carry weight. The Buddha taught the principle of karma, not as some mystical reward system, but as the natural unfolding of cause and effect. Every word you speak, every intention you hold, every action you take, they all plant seeds. And those seeds shape what blossoms next, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others and in the world around you. You're not a disconnected observer drifting through life. You're a living thread in a vast, breathing web. And every choice you make helps shape the pattern. This is the essence of the middle way. Some people hear ideas like oneness and conclude that nothing really matters, that it's all one big illusion or predetermined fate. That's one extreme. Others believe they're completely separate, isolated, and must defend or compete with others to survive. That's the other extreme. The Buddha rejected both. He taught that while we don't have a permanent self, we do have responsibility. While we are not isolated, we are also not powerless. We are part of the web, and what we do echoes throughout it. Think about something as simple as a cup of coffee. You choose where to buy it. That choice supports certain farmers, certain businesses, certain ways of treating people and the earth. Your words, too, carry power. They can open hearts or harden them. The way you listen, the way you care for the environment, the way you show up for others, all of it matters. Nothing stands alone. Even your inner changes ripple outward. When you begin to cultivate calm or patience or compassion, it doesn't stay locked inside you. It touches the people around you, sometimes in subtle, quiet ways. And they may pass it on without even realizing it. A small act of care can travel farther than you'll ever know. So when you're faced with a difficult decision, try asking yourself 2 gentle questions. How will this choice affect the web I'm a part of? This is the lens of interbeing. And, am I doing this just to defend an identity that may not be as solid as I think? This is the insight of no self. These reflections won't give you instant answers, but they help ground your choices in wisdom and compassion. This way of living isn't just philosophy, it's a practice. You start to notice that you no longer need to always be right, because there's no rigid self to defend. You might feel more naturally drawn to generosity, because you see your well-being as inseparable from others. You begin to welcome change, not fear it, because you understand that all things, including you, are always changing anyway. Here's a small practice you can try each day. In the morning, ask, "How can I be of benefit today?" In the afternoon, check in. Are my actions in harmony with my deeper values? In the evening, reflect. When today did I feel most connected? To people, to nature, to life. And let gratitude arise for the sun that warmed you, the food that nourished you, the people who helped you without even knowing. The Buddha once said, "The path is walked." You don't have to understand everything all at once. Start where you are. Keep walking. You matter, not because you're separate and special, but because you're part of everything, and everything you do sends waves through that living ocean. The teacher Thich Nhat Hanh expressed it beautifully. If you want to take care of the world, take care of yourself. If you want to take care of yourself, take care of the world. So after everything we've explored, can we finally answer the question, are we all one? In the Buddhist view, not exactly. We are not one single being, melted into sameness. We are many, diverse, beautiful, distinct. But we are also never truly apart. We are woven together in a web so intimate that nothing can be truly separate. The boundary between me and you is softer than we think. This changes everything. It means your life is not about disappearing into some abstract oneness. It's about discovering your place in the great web, a place that is both unique and deeply connected. And it means your actions matter, deeply, because they shape not just your own path, but the entire fabric of life. You are not alone. The whole universe of conditions supports you. And you are not powerless. Your smallest act of care, undone, even unseen, sends ripples across the world. So begin today, not with grand gestures, but with one simple, conscious act of kindness. Not because the other person is you, but because they are not separate from you. In this vast living web, every thread matters. You are that thread. Make it strong. Make it kind.